We didn't hear one meow from the cats all night. They were happy being together again, and we were happy they were happy. We let them out in the morning, and they both immediately ran to the living room. It seemed this would be their favourite spot for a while. It made sense, as the cage had been in this room for most of their stay indoors. The kitten was so tiny and our house was so big, so we continued to keep a litter tray in the living room at all times. We wanted to try and avoid as many wee accidents from him as possible. It wasn't ideal, but we knew it was a short-term solution, at least until the kitten was properly toilet trained. The first thing the cat did was to hide behind the couch. She wasn't sure what she was supposed to do now she was free from the cage. She watched the strange-looking big cats walk around. After a while, the kitten decided he wanted to play. He wasn't used to having full access to his mum, and he wanted to make the most of it. He started biting her, then he pulled her tail. He'd then run and tackle her until they were rolling around on the floor, wrestling with each other. The poor cat. Being a stray, she was still trying to figure out what these strange-looking big cats wanted, and yet here was her kitten biting her on the legs. She must have reached a breaking point, as she held him down and started biting him back, sometimes quite hard. It was only when he squealed that she'd release him. I did secretly find it amusing though, that even animal mums get annoyed by their kids sometimes. It was interesting watching them interact. The kitten had been a stray for only a couple of weeks, and most of that time he'd spent asleep with his eyes closed. He did shake a little when I first started patting him, but he was used to us now. The cat, on the other hand, was still learning to trust us. The kitten tried playing with the cat a few more times, but he just kept getting a pummeling. When he finally realised the cat wasn't interested, he decided to explore the rest of the house. He discovered our fish tank and he quite liked it, not because of the fish. I don't think he even realised they were there. He liked it because it was the halfway point between the bathroom and our lounge room. He hadn't been in the lounge room yet, and it was a very big room for such a small kitty, so the fish tank was his safe zone. Our kids continued to play with the kitten. They thought he was hilarious. Having a kitten full of energy was wonderful for our kids. The kitten had a full day of playing, exploring and sleeping, while the cat's day was spent mostly hiding. When I came home from work, I made sure to give her a reassuring pat. I think she appreciated it. When it was dinner time, we put some wet food into the bowls. The kitten ran over straight away. He loved dinner time. The cat, on the other hand, was still a bit wary. I tried to coax her over with some pats. She wasn't interested, so I left her alone and sat down to eat my meal. Eventually, it was time for bed. We refilled their food and water bowls and put down some fresh kitty litter for them. My husband grabbed the kitten and put him in the bathroom. It was easy taking him to bed, as he was so tiny so he couldn't put up a fight. The cat, on the other hand, kept running away every time we came near. We chased her around for 15 minutes, and I started wondering why we took in a stray cat. She was hiding behind the couch again, so we decided to block off all her exit points. My husband sat at one end of the couch and I on the other. She was scared of my husband, though we knew she'd stay at my end. I put the carrier on the floor in front of me. She was now stuck. She didn't want to go in the carrier, and she wasn't going anywhere near my husband, so her only option was to go over the carrier. Unfortunately, she knew I'd be able to grab her if she tried, and that's exactly what happened. I grabbed her and held her in my arms. I must admit, I was a little afraid that she'd bite me after we cornered her like that. She didn't. She was a good cat. She was just scared. She struggled to get out of my arms, but there was no scratching. I quickly took her to the bathroom while talking to her in a soothing voice the whole time. When I put her down, I gave her a reassuring pat. My husband did too. We closed the door. We kept the same routine for the next couple of weeks, and as the days passed, we could see the cat gaining in confidence. Her trust was slowly coming back. The routine was good for the cat. It made her realise that even though we locked her in the bathroom each night, we would let her out again in the morning. One morning, we let the cats out of the bathroom, and we noticed that the kitten had a lot of fur missing on his hind foot. We thought he'd just licked it too much, maybe out of boredom at bedtime. We didn't think too much of it as his first vaccination was coming up, so we decided to ask the vet about it then. A week later, my husband took the kitten to the vet. It turns out the kitten had ringworm. It was now the kitten's turn to wear the cone of shame.